Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel, welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be talking about all of my current favorite products from Sephora and giving you the recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale this fall, which is starting on October 28th for Rouge members who get 20% off of all of these products. Also VIB members who get 15% off starting November 1st. And lastly, insiders who get 10% off starting November 3rd. So this is a video that I have filmed 2 other times. The first being my all-time faves from Sephora, my all-time favorite recommendations for this type of sale. The second one I filmed back in the spring, back in April. So definitely check out those videos as well if you want like a more well-rounded sort of recommendations video. But this one today will solely focus on my current favorite products that I wear, products that I reach for all the time. And of course, as I am recommending these products, I'm going to be talking about the price points, and I will be applying all of these faves to my face to create this simple but kind of effective fall glam look. So I hope you guys like this type of video. Give it a thumbs up. Share it wherever it is shareable. Notification bell for Wednesdays and Sundays videos. Subscribe if you aren't already. And now let's hit it. Sephora VIB sale 2022 fall recommendations. Here we come. Looking like Rosie the Riveter over here. Excuse my appearance. But let's begin. So I want to talk about primers. Since my last video of VIB recommendations back in April, I have 2 new favorite primer recommendations. Number 1, you could probably already guess, is the DANESSA MYRICKS Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in the shade Universal, which would make it a primer, or you can also use it as a setting type of balm that turns into powder. This is a very unique product. It's a product that contains the ingredient Upsolite, which is known for controlling oils in oily AF skin like mine. So all of these recommendations that I'm going to be talking about today are things that have worked for me and things that I would recommend to you, especially if you are somewhat similar to me. But don't worry, I will talk about other products that are totally universal like this. This, I think, is a universal product. Not only will it control your oils and all of your shine, but it also just makes your skin look so smooth and so amazing. This is a $36 product. Definitely my number 1 primer recommendation, especially if you want to keep your skin looking and feeling matte for a long time, like for the entire day. So this product is also known for blurring and smoothing all of those imperfections that are associated with oily skin, such as enlarged pores, such as uneven texture, little bumps, acne scars, things like that. I do think this is a pinch drying on dry skin, just because it is supposed to control your oils, and if you're someone who's not oily, then there's really nothing to control. But anyway, I would totally recommend this, and with the VIB sale, if you are a Rouge member, I would suggest getting your hands on a couple of shades. Perhaps the Universal, which is a translucent, and maybe like a skin matching shade. As you can see, I've already hit pan. This is shade 6, which I use all the time. I actually own all the shades. I even have shade 10, and I use that one too for contouring, for bronzing. Basically, I do everything with this product. Even if you're not a Sephora insider, you can sign up right now and you can start earning as of today. By the way, all the products that I'm going to be talking about, I'm listing and linking down below for your convenience. These are my affiliate links, so if you choose to purchase from my links, just keep in mind that I do get a small tiny percentage from your purchase. I almost forgot to mention the second primer that I love and would recommend from Sephora, and it is the CALIRAY So Blown Clean Blurring Primer. CALIRAY So Blown CALIRAY So Blown Clear Blurring Primer. That is a mouthful. Also a $36 product. This one is a little bit different from the previous one in the sense that this is something that I would use for every day, even though it's not necessarily an everyday price. They're both $36. But if I want something quick and on the go, this is very easy. This is very effective. Granted, it's not going to be as long lasting as this. It's not going to be controlling your oils for as long, but I've been enjoying this one as well, so I can't not mention it. Moving along to some favorite foundations since April, since my last video. I actually have 3 that I want to talk about today. The first one being my newest discovery from HAUS Labs by Lady Gaga, Triclone Skin Tech Foundation is what I'm talking about. I just did a review on this, but I've been wearing this every day since my review, and I love it. I love this foundation. I can't say that I love the powder that's supposed to go with this foundation. I can't say I love it as much as just the foundation alone. This is a medium coverage. It feels extremely silky, very, very smooth on the skin. And with my DANESSA MYRICKS Blurring Balm Powder, it is like a dream. It is just like the perfect veil. It looks like my skin, not too heavy, super lightweight actually, and just like very beautiful, very natural, very, very pretty. This is a $45 product, but it has some great skin loving ingredients. It also has some arnica, which is known for improving your redness and inflammation over time. And some people in my comments have said that they have noticed this in their skin, so I must mention it to you guys. Another foundation that I have been reaching for and loving a lot is actually from Patrick Ta, and it's the newest Major Skin Foundation. This is a $52 product. Not cheap, by no means, but with the 20%, you could save over 10 bucks on this. With the 15%, you could save some coin. Plus, this is like a dual product. It has the cream foundation on the top, and then it has a powder to set it. Granted, it's not a super tremendous little amount of product. You know, it's a moderate amount of product. But this is great to travel with, and it just feels very luxury. And the undertones, you guys, are just so right. Especially if you are a medium skin tone, especially if you have a hard time finding the right yellow or golden or perhaps olive undertone, Patrick Ta is where it's at. He's got you covered. He's got all the golden girls, all of us. He's got us covered. So I've been using the shades Light Medium 4 and Light Medium 1. They're kind of similar. They both have like a golden warm slash slightly olive undertone. So I'm gonna use that again today. I'm gonna use my favorite IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection brush. This is an all-time fave. I don't think it's available at Sephora, but you should get it if it is available. What I like about this foundation in particular is how easy it glides on. You can sheer it out like I'm doing at the top of my cheekbone if I want to showcase my freckles, or you can kind of stipple it and pile it on in those areas where you need more coverage, like those areas where I have more breakouts. Medium coverage again, but it can definitely be built up and amplified. Also just a flexible formula, really easy. People have been asking me what's the difference between this and the DANESSA MYRICKS Blurring Balm Powder. I would say the main difference is the pigmentation. This definitely offers more coverage. It feels kind of similar, slightly balmy when it first goes on, but then it turns to powder in a sense. So again, perfect for us oily girls or boys, and just so easy. One sheer little layer is enough for me. I'm gonna set that aside, and I am gonna talk about another foundation that I would recommend that I've been loving. I'm talking about the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. This is a liquid whip long wear foundation, and this is a full coverage foundation, you guys. So whereas the other two were medium or like a sheer to medium, very like everyday wear, this one is your glam foundation. This one will cover everything. This one will stay put all day, but it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look fakey, and it definitely does not look cakey. So I like this one a lot too. This is a $29 foundation, so not super inexpensive. Also, now it comes in a different tube, so it's slightly different from the original Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. Slightly different in the sense that now you can easily travel with this and you can easily get the most out of this type of squeezy tube packaging. Let's talk about concealers. So in the concealer category, I went down the list at Sephora and I realized that like a lot of my favorite concealers are actually not from Sephora, but the ones that I have been enjoying from Sephora have been the following two: the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer, this one, and also the LAWLESS Conceal the Deal Full Coverage Concealer. These are a little bit different in the sense that this one is creamier and it's more pigmented, whereas the Huda Beauty has a more of a liquidy consistency, so it's great for spot treating. I can also use the Huda Beauty concealer in the under eye, but to me, I find that something like this, where it's creamy and it has a lot of good pigment but easy to blend, is better for the under eye, whereas something liquidy, something that sets quick, is better for spots. So the LAWLESS Conceal the Deal also has some caffeine, which will plump and awaken your under eye. I am using the shade Ballet, which as you can probably tell is like slightly pinky peachy. And I also have the shade Cashew, which is more of like a skin matching shade for me, or like a more yellowy undertone. So I like to use this one for brightening, for lifting. Again, $26 for for this concealer. Clean ingredients, really creamy and easy to use. Enough pigment for the under eye to brighten, but not so much texture that it will add more texture to your skin. Oh, I can definitely see it brightening my under eye. My under eye needed it. So right now, even though I'm not concealing spots, I am still lifting and brightening this area around my nose, which tends to be a little bit deeper. And so I want to pop it out. And same on the chin. In the Faux Filter Concealer, I'm going to go for the shade 4.3N Cookie Dough. I'm going to use that to conceal a couple spots here and there. I don't have a lot of spots, not like last week, but there's still like some acne scars. So this one, I just like to let it sit for a few minutes or so. I like to move on to like other things on my face, and then I like to blend it out with a tiny little brush. So the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer is $29. With the rouge, you can get almost, what, $6 off to make it $23. Not really like the hugest savings, but it adds up and it still makes a difference. Better, looking so much better. Okay, in the powder category, you already know I like the powder from the Patrick Ta Dual Foundation, major skin product. So I will be using that, but I do want to talk about a couple of other favorites, namely my favorite setting powder for the under eye. I have been loving the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in Tone Up Rose. So this is literally meant to be a brightening powder. It comes in a rosy tone, but it's not too pink. It's not like the Huda Beauty Blossom one. It's like a pinch peachier, but this one I would say is just so fresh. I also love the Huda Beauty one, but that one is like always sold out. This one is still on the Sephora website, so if you can get your hands on it, please get your hands on it. This is a $40 powder. Great for brightening the under eye, for popping out all those areas that are a little sunken. Now, Laura Mercier is a brand that has always excelled in powders. I religiously use their regular powder, but recently they have come out with the Ultra Blur smoothing powder without the talc, and that one was a big disappointment for me. I found it to be just way too shimmery and just not perfecting enough for me and my skin type. This one, on the other hand, is nothing like that other one. This one works and it really does the job. I am a big fan. Another powder that I've been loving and I always recommend, it's not actually a new powder, it's been around for a while, it's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Matte Setting Powder. I use the shade Beige Doré, and I also use the shade Banana, which is like a slightly yellow tone. This one I like specifically for mattifying and for, I guess, glamming up my face. To me, a matte finish always associates with glam. Like when I think of a matte powder on me, I always think of like the ultimate glam makeup. If you're like me, you will use this sparingly, like in just some strategic areas. And notice I'm only powdering the center of the face, but there's actually one more powder that also falls into the foundation category, and it's something that I would recommend for anyone, whether you have oily or normal or dry skin. This Bare Minerals BarePro Powder Foundation is a really great powder foundation. Before this one, the only other one that has worked for me and my skin type is the Makeup Forever Powder Foundation. Everything else that I've tried was just not quite it. It was just not strong enough to withstand my oils. This, however, is not only strong enough, but it also makes your skin look really good. It smooths out blurs, it evens out your tone. It looks really well put together, but it is effortless. It is an effortless type of product that you can slap on very easily at the beginning of your day, especially if you only have like 5 minutes to get ready. This is the one. It is a $35 product. Comes with a little sponge, which is handy, by the way. I do use it, so I would recommend it. I'm not gonna use it today because before I move on to other products, I do want to talk about some bronzing and contouring powders and also some powder bronzers. But let me actually start out with some cream bronzers. My #1 favorite cream bronzer that I have discovered this year is most definitely the NARS Laguna Bronzing Cream. This is amazing. This is such a great bronzing product. First of all, it smells incredible. It smells like a beach vacation that I'm about to go on. Also, the shades, just like the undertones, are very right. They're very believable. This is shade 2, the original Laguna. It's like literally the color of my shoulder. By the way, it's like my fading natural tan. And this right here is Laguna 3, which is the color that I usually use in the summertime when I'm a little bit more tan. But I think for the sake of today, let me just go ahead and use the original. Also, I just find that this product is very flexible. It can apply over powder, though I don't recommend it, which is why I didn't powder the perimeter of my face. But really, it's just such a easy to use product. Also, the brush, the NARS brush that is meant for this particular product is a genius brush. I'm gonna try to find it and I'm also gonna link it down below. But basically, look at that. You can apply a little or a lot. You can kind of just sculpt out your face, add color, make yourself look and feel more alive. I'm not someone who likes to do a lot of contouring, but I do like to bronze up with like a neutral shade like this. That's part bronzy, part contoury. And for me, what I like to do is use the majority of the product on my forehead and kind of like around the perimeter of my face. And then I just take a little bit, whatever's remaining on the brush, and I tap it under my cheekbone and kind of like into the ear, like that, so that it's subtle and natural, but effective. $38 product, but worth it. If you are looking for a clean cream bronzer stick, I would highly recommend LYS. This one is really easy to use, nice and compact, beautiful packaging, great triangle shape, so it's really easy to create thin lines or thicker lines. Not gonna use this one today, but I have used this one a lot. This one is only $19, you guys, and it has 7.2 grams or 0.25 ounces compared to this, which is like double the size, but it is also double the price. So I guess it's almost the same amount per weight, but you know, the packaging is different. One is travel friendly, the other one is like brush friendly. So it's a personal choice. I personally like both. I need to go back. I need to retract a little bit because I want to talk about my favorite blushes, just some blush recommendations. And I do have some cream and I also have some powder blushes. But first I want to talk about the cream that I don't think I get to talk about enough. This came out literally right after the previous VIB sale, so I couldn't mention it in my previous video, but I have been using this non-stop. I'm talking about the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. This is really ingenious, super easy to use. You get a ton of product. Shades are really, really flattering, very beautiful. There's tons of them. There's even this beautiful golden shade that's called Soleil. But the shade that I just squeezed out on my finger is called Provence. And it is just this very pretty, neutral, everyday type of blush that you can apply a little bit or a lot. Spread it with your fingers or with a brush. I'm gonna go for a brush. Probably like my favorite thing about this blush is how it literally just sticks to your skin wherever you place it. Granted, it is easy to manipulate. It is very easy to blend out. But what I like about it, like my favorite thing about it, is the actual pigmentation. So even though the color that I just used is pretty light, but you could still clearly see that I am blushing on my cheeks. Again, this is another super flexible product. Can go over anything, over your foundation, over your bare skin, even over powder. You just have to be a little careful with how you apply it over powder. Like there's some parts here that I overlap, but it's not looking tragic. It's actually still working, which is what I like about it. But anyway, now that I did that, I'm gonna go back to powder very quickly and I'm gonna powder that down as well as the rest of my face with the Patrick Ta, just because I really like the way that this cream foundation goes with this powder. So I'm just gonna use what I'm meant to use, you know? I'm also going to powder down this blush. All right, and now that I've done that, I actually want to talk about some powder blushes that I totally recommend for the Sephora VIB sale. I am talking about the new blushes from Benefit. So now Benefit has always had blushes, but recently they've added some new shades, and some of these shades are like my favorite shades. I really love the shade Sunny. It is just so pretty and so very me. I also really, really love the shade Krista. This one is like my go-to blush shade. If I'm feeling bold, if I'm feeling like my skin is really great and I just want to enhance it, you know, this is the shade that I usually dip into. Shelly, another fave. Butterfly, another fave. Might be a little too much with what I have going on here today. And my all-time fave, which is actually Benefit's first blush shade, Dandelion. Just so pretty and so pink. So now these sizes are $29 each, but they also come in minis, which are $17. So you could try one or a couple, or you can just like stock up on a few of your favorite shades. In the blush category, I also really, really, really love the blush from Natasha Denona's My Dream Cheek Trio with the blush with the cream base and diamond glow highlighter. This blush was very unique to me. Even though it says that it's a cream blush, it felt more like powder, but it was so flattering and just so smoothing and so perfecting on the skin that I think it's in a category of its own. So this is definitely another product that I would totally recommend for the sale, especially if you want to splurge, because this is $48. Granted, it has 3 individual products, but it's not like the largest pans in the world, but it is very pretty. So I am going to go ahead and apply a little bit of this over like the back part of my cheek, just so you can see how pretty and dainty this color is. And also this formula. Yes, my love! Here. Oh yes. Oh yes. I am totally unworthy. He is beautiful and I am just a peasant. I love you. Whew. All right, moving on. I don't have any favorites or recommendations in the highlighter category. I think that's because a lot of my favorites are all-time, long time ago favorites. So if you're interested in knowing those, I will link that video, my original all-time favorites Sephora VIB sale recommendations video, down below. But for now, I am just gonna use one of these highlighters from the Natasha Denona palette because it does include a highlighter. So I might as well just utilize it. I'm gonna go for this Diamond Glow. Next, the most exciting category, eyeshadow palettes. You guessed it. So in this video, I have actually prepared 4 recommendations for you guys in the eyeshadow category. So in no particular order, one of my recommendations is the Empowered Palette by Huda Beauty. This to me is the ultimate fall glam palette. This has the warm mattes, it has all the different metallics, it even has some cream eyeliner shades, it also has a bunch of transition shades, but what's special about this palette is that a lot of the formulas are unique and different. There's this very special half balm, half metallic eyeshadow type of finish or formula. There's also these foiled shadows, swirl shadows, all these like cool different formulas that Huda and her team have been working on. And so this to me, although very familiar, it feels special because it is a little bit different. This is a $67 palette, one of my favorites. Probably one of Huda's best, to be honest, just because it feels so rich. I love the messaging behind it. Packaging is cool. And just overall, I really enjoyed using that palette. I really like the eye look that I was able to create with it. Check out that video. It's just really easy to use. Next palette that I would recommend for you guys is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. So now this one is $69, so kind of in the same price range. Has a little bit less eyeshadows, but it has kind of like an equal amount of shimmery shades to matte shades. This one, not as warm as the Huda Beauty. It has like a couple of warm shades, but this is mostly on the cool or neutral side. Kind of leaning a little bit more wine and a little bit more demure than the Empowered palette. Also, it has this very unique duochrome or even like a triochrome type of shade. In my monitor, it looks purple, but as I look at it with the naked eye, it looks green, kind of olive and golden to me. So that's really unique and special. I also love this shadow here called the Black is Black. It's one of the best black eyeshadows in a palette. So definitely another fave. In no particular order, just because this is like the next palette that's underneath those two, I will recommend the Pat McGrath Mothership 10 palette, Moonlit Seduction. This one is pricey at $128, but Mother Pat has incredible quality eyeshadows, and this one is no different. Although I will say this is probably not my most favorite of the Mothership palettes. Everyone always asks me which one is my favorite. My favorite, I believe, is the number 6 with the purple and with that super unique wet sparkle looking shade. That one is my favorite one, but this one is really great. I really love this shade that actually came in crushed, so be careful. But it is so soft that you could easily push it back and like make it work for you. So basically, if you love purpley tones, also with some champagne and with just like some neutrals, this would be a nice palette to have. And with the Rouge discount, you will get 20% off of that $128 palette. So that's almost $30 off, I believe. But the final palette that I will tell you to run to Sephora and get, because it is back and it is now available, is 100% the DANESSA MYRICKS Lightwork Vol IV Transcendence palette. This is just a rare gem. This is a beauty. This is a work of art. This is totally different. This would add to your collection, especially if you are a makeup artist, especially if you're looking for different textures and different finishes and just like different ways to play up and light up the lids. Of course, you could also use these on the rest of the face. It has 2 water activated shades. It has some crushed glass shades. That's what they're called, like crushed crystals. It also has these incredible duo and trio chromes. And last but not least are these chrome flakes in the center, which also look like they're kind of baked in like a jelly. So I mean, I can go on and on. I can rave about this palette, but you're probably not gonna get the full gist of what I'm trying to say unless you actually get it and play around with it. So right now it is available on Sephora. It is $125. With the Rouge discount, you get 20% off. That's 25 bucks. VIB gives you 15%, Insider gives you 10%, and so on. So if you want to splurge, and I feel like this is what the sale is about, is to like really splurge on some things that are perhaps not within our reach, but if you could save some coin, this is the time to do it. And this is a product that is absolutely worth the money. But if you could save some money on it, then it makes all the sense in the world, you know? So I am just gonna go ahead and use my all-time favorite primer. This one is from Fenty Beauty. My cat is going crazy outside of the door. He's like hearing me talk about this palette and he is like screaming. I'm getting way too excited. And today I'm thinking I wanna do like a one and done type of look. So which one will be that one and done shade for me? I'm thinking I really like the shade Trippy. It's kind of green, kind of pink, kind of gold. And it is a shade that I have not yet tried on my lids, but it is a shade that is screaming my name. I think you can clearly see how unique this is. In the monitor, it looks totally purple, but the moment I start shifting, it turns colors because it really is that trippy. So I'm applying this all over the lid, just smoothly past my crease, kind of into the eye socket area, just like this. And then I'm gonna use a soft brush and just blend out the edges ever so slightly. So that will serve as my base. Next, I'm gonna dip my finger into the shade Nirvana. This one looks kind of red and also kind of green and also kind of gold. So this is the perfect shade to place in the center of my lid, just to break up this pattern. And then last but not least, I'm gonna close up that palette and I'm actually gonna dip into a different palette, the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. I'm gonna dip into this shade right here called Charisma. And I am going to apply that shade sporadically over the center, kind of like sparkles. And I know I said it was gonna be a one and done, but now I'm feeling like I want more color. So I'm just gonna grab this shade here called Rebel, cooler clay pot type of shade. And I'm just gonna outline the outer portion of this and just lift it up towards the tail end of my brow. Like that, just to make it a little bit more wearable. And then with another fluffy brush, I'm gonna clean that up. Boom. All right, so now I can officially say I am done with the eyeshadow palette's recommendations. Let's move on to some basics such as eyeliners. With eyeliners, I gotta say, I have my favorites, but you can definitely find similar products outside of Sephora and definitely even outside of Ulta. You could probably find them at the drugstore or like anywhere. You could probably find it at the supermarket. But since we're here, I'm just gonna talk about a couple of my favorite eyeliners. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, then you probably already know that I am very much into dippy liners like this, something that you actually dip into a little tube, something that has a brush on the other end. This one that I'm holding is the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Color Ink. I believe it is $26 and it comes in multiple shades. This is by far my favorite liquid eyeliner from Sephora, but I also really like the Lash Rocket Liner from Freck. Similar concept. Again, dippy liner. I like these better because they just last longer than a felt tip. However, if you are into the felt tip, I have a couple of recommendations for you. I really do like the One Size Point Made, specifically the shade Busty Brown. It is just like such a pretty shade of brown. And also I really enjoyed the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Liner in the shade Chocolate. Now this one is a bristle tip, so a little bit, actually a lot a bit more precise than the felt tip. But the problem with this is that it also dries out quite quickly, especially if you use these over eyeshadow. If you wear these just over your bare lid for like an everyday occasion, then these will probably last you longer. But if you are wearing eyeshadow every day, I highly recommend dippy liners such as the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist. Also comes in brown, also comes in white, comes in many shades. I'm gonna go for the Aqua Resist in Matte Wood, which is a brown. Draw a quick wing. I like that the tip is very stiff. It's not super flexible. To me, super flexible tips are great for beginners, but the super stiff tip applicators are a little bit better for artistry. Like if you already know how to apply eyeliner and if you feel comfortable, then this will give you more control. Mascara time! Same deal, you guys. I am not too crazy about mascaras from Sephora. I far prefer them from the drugstore. Not only are they cheaper, they likely work better. Also, I'm someone who really only reaches for waterproof mascaras, but I will say that these two mascaras that I'm going to recommend from Sephora are both clean mascaras. One of them is like a viral sensation, and the other one should be a viral sensation because they are essentially very, very similar. I'm talking about the Tower 28 $20 mascara. Comes in this tube. This is the viral sensation one. And also the CALIRAY Clean Mascara, Come Hell or High Water. That's what it says. $24 mascara. Essentially, they do the same thing. Both are clean formulas. They don't irritate the eyes, and I like them. Someone asked me recently, why did I stop using my Laura Mercier lash curler, and it's because I decided to move my Laura Mercier lash curler to my other room, which is not my filming room, but like my actual get ready room. The one that's left here is this Refer lash curler, which is good, though not as good as the Laura Mercier. So the Laura Mercier I will recommend because you can get that on Sephora, but the Refer is just as good. So I guess for today, I'm just gonna use the Tower 28 on one eye and the CALIRAY on another eye. I'm not really sure why this one is so viral. I mean, it's definitely very good for a clean mascara, but I'm someone with short, straight Asian lashes, and to me, it definitely doesn't make my lashes look super long like in those TikTok videos. But the reason why I'm recommending it is because it does not irritate the eye, and it definitely does work. There's a lot of clean mascaras that I've tried in the past that just don't do a damn thing, you know? But these two, they do a thing. And I like them both, and I keep them around, and I use them all the time. I don't know if you can tell. They are very similar to me. Let's conclude this video on something very exciting, aka lip products. When it comes to eyeliners, mascaras, and lip liners specifically, I just find that drugstore lip liners, mascaras, and eyeliners are just as good, if not better, than their higher end or Sephora counterparts. Although I like these lip liners that I'm about to mention, I do think that NYX's lip liners are so good, they are borderline superior. Having said that, some of my favorite lip liners from Sephora are definitely from Laura Mercier. If you can get your hands on this shade Chestnut, you gotta get your hands on it because this is my last one and it is teensy. I use it all the damn time. I also really, really love the Makeup Forever Artist Color pencils. These are the same pencils that you can use on the eyes, but these are specifically for the lips. There are tons of shades. They're basically regular pencils that are sharpenable, easy to use, great colors. I also really like the NARS, specifically the shade Vents. It's a great nude. But if you are looking for something different, if you are looking for something a little bit more unique, then I will highly recommend a lip liner that you may not be able to find a dupe for in the drugstore. I'm talking about the Rare Beauty Kind Words lip liner. This one is a unique formula because it is not a sharpenable pencil. In fact, it's a retractable pencil in the shape of a sharpenable pencil. But the formula is what I find to be specifically unique. It feels like a hybrid between a gel, like something that is very creamy and very, very pigmented, and also like a super rich, like super punchy, waxy type of traditional lip liner. So this is kind of like a hybrid product, if you will, and I've really been enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. $15 for this. Comes in multiple shades with matching lipsticks, by the way. So here I have the shade Fun, shade Strong, which is like a brown, and also shade Gifted, like a medium brown. Of course, you can match them to their Kind Word lipstick counterpart, or you can mix and match. You can wear shade Gifted with shade Fun lipstick, which is what I do a lot, and basically the combos are endless. Might as well just do that today. We go for shade Gifted. Oh, and of course, I'm already wearing my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk 2 on my lips, which is another recommendation. I use this one all the time, but I'm just gonna go over it. Look how easily that glides. It's just like the most satisfying continuous color ever. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna feather it in. I'm gonna draw those little lines that you guys love. I'm gonna use a little bit of a darker shade, shade Strong, just in the outer corners. And then for the center of the lip, I'm gonna go for the Rare Beauty Kind Words lipstick. This would be shade Strong. If you guys are interested in seeing all of these swatched on the lips, I do have a video on that. I am gonna go for shade Fun. Very fun indeed. All right, so I have one final lipstick to talk to you guys about. My final recommendation for the video, and it is a splurgy one at $42. I'm talking about the new Dior Forever Matte Transfer Proof proof lipstick. Another viral sensation, but it is kind of worth the money if you know what I mean. The colors are just right, the finish, the texture, they are indeed transfer proof, but very comfortable on the lips. These are not liquid lipsticks, these are traditional lipsticks, so they will last you much longer than those liquid lipsticks. One of my favorite shades from the collection is the shade 9999, the red. I mean, this is just a great gift. If you want to splurge on like your mom or your sister or your best friend, a single lipstick like that can be a great gift. I also really like the shade 200, which is kind of similar to the shade that I'm wearing now, but a little bit more neutral. The shade Fun mixed with the Gifted lip liner, it makes this lip just a little warm. This is a little bit more on the neutral side, and it just looks so pretty. It is like the most quintessential fall nude lip, especially if you are on the medium spectrum of skin tones like myself. That shade 200 is the one. Alrighty, you guys, I think it's time for me to release the bangs. All right, the bangs are released, and this is my final look using all of my recommendations from Sephora. My recommendations for the VIB sale that is starting this October 28th for the Rouge members, November 1st for the VIB members, aka 15% off, or November 3rd for the insiders, which is 10%. But anyone can become an insider. You can sign up as early as now and start earning your 10% on November 3rd. Let me just go ahead and model this look for you guys. A little fall glam, a little understated, but definitely on the glammy side, using all my faves. But not my fails. Oops, that's a different video. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed my take on the Sephora VIB recommendations. I hope you like all of my recommendations. Definitely let me know if this is a video that you'd like to see me do seasonally. This is my 3rd time filming this video, so let me know your thoughts. If you have any suggestions for me on how I can make this video a little bit better, perhaps I don't need to apply all these products to my face. But anyway, let me know. You do the talking, I do the reading and the listening, all right? I'm zooming on out. You are checking out more of my videos over here, and I am saying farewell, peace out, and I'm out.